Welcome to Breakpoint, the ServiceNow Developer Podcast.
Hello, admins, builders, developers, and curious individuals that I say with the utmost love and respect. Welcome to, or welcome back to the Breakpoint Podcast, ServiceNow's developer-focused podcast where we give you all the latest tools, tips, and tradecraft to accelerate your career. My name is Lauren McManaman. I am your host of Breakpoint, and I am always seemingly thrilled to be doing this podcast, but I am even more thrilled because we have not only a first-time appearance on this podcast, but someone that I work shoulder to shoulder with like almost on a daily basis. So I'm so honored to welcome to Breakpoint the Senior Director of the Community Team, Mr. Mark Obee. Welcome to Breakpoint. How are you doing?
Hey, Lauren. Thank you so much. I'm super happy to be here.
Well, I couldn't thank you enough. So just to show how much of amazing servant leadership this man offers to our team, the whole focus of today's podcast is CreatorCon India. And initially, I was trying to juggle doing this with the advocates, but they're really working their hardest to deliver this amazing experience. I didn't really want to overwhelm them as much. And so I asked Mark if he would be, open to doing this podcast. And without a hiccup, very last minute, he has jumped full into this. So I just want to extend how appreciative I am for your time here today.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Happy to. We win as a team, so I'm happy to jump in.
Awesome. So before we dive into anything CreatorCon India related, tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. So I've been at ServiceNow for 5.5 years, and I lead the community and developer relations team with all the dev advocates and everyone. And, it's been a really amazing journey seeing the community kind of going from a smaller, when I joined, it was around 180,000. And now we're at about 860,000, which is pretty incredible. So seeing that journey over the last few years has been extremely wild, and seeing CreatorCon and Knowledge and all of the other events grow has just been such an amazing journey.
Unbelievable. And in fact, to a point where I'd think every year, like, there's no way we can top X, Y, or Z. And every year, like, you really pull all the strings to making it bigger and better for our customers. And I know that they see the impact of it, but even internally, we see the impact of it. So it's really great to see how much your presence has amplified the efforts of our community and reflected the value they provide back to us, which is a nice transition into our event. So let's talk a little bit about CreatorCon India, because I was one of the teammates that had the pleasure of going last year. I unfortunately am going, well, not unfortunately, I'm very excited to be going to the World Forum in Sydney, but of course, by proxy, will not be going to India this year. So let's talk about CreatorCon India 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so excited to be bringing back CreatorCon to India next month. We're going to start in Bengaluru, pop over to Pune, and then finally wind up in New Delhi.
Ooh, switching it up this year, going the opposite direction.
Mixing it up and then adding in New Delhi. It's going to be pretty incredible. And also, this is going to be the largest CreatorCon we've done in India. It's going to be roughly 3 times the size of last year. So really happy to connect with our local community and so many of our amazing MVPs and rising stars. The other really big part about this year is we're going to be bringing, the best of knowledge right to you, including our incredible AI labs, HackZones, and the popular collectible community cards, or the C3, as it's known, experience. And we're just extremely excited about that.
Now, tell us a little about, just people are always interested in kind of the goings on behind the scenes. So how did this event kind of come into fruition? Also, so much faster than last year. Last year, if you didn't know, CreatorCon India happened around September time. So there was a little bit of a gap between Knowledge and the CreatorCon India. But this year, it's like boom, boom, one right after another. Like, what amazing timing on this, so that there's not that deficit of inertia,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been an amazing learning. I think part of the reason why our team gets to do so many amazing things with the community is we have this great feedback from them that enables us to really make great decisions. And one of the bigger feedbacks was like, hey, we want, we didn't get to go to Knowledge. We want to go to Knowledge. And so the idea around this one this year is, how do we really make it bigger, better, and also bring it to people faster? So if we take a look back, with COVID and everything else, we'd have, as of last year, that was 5 years since we've been there. And, that really led to a pretty amazing success. And, the really exciting part about, what we found was the connections was so powerful that we really wanted to lean into there. So, we saw the folks on site having these great experiences. And then afterwards, you saw these incredible posts in LinkedIn. And then you also saw these really awesome moments where they started to create their own little meetups and connections and podcasts and other things like that. And so it was amazing to see that little spark in that experience. And then we also found some other things that we had to change, which I think is super important, So at the time that we launched last year, India made up roughly 31% of our community. And, one of the other challenges we found was that, resoundingly, that there's so many people who wanted to attend that weren't able to attend. And so one of the things that we were able to do is actually increase the capacity there. But also, the other learning was, and you were leading the builder track last year, is so many people wanted to get access to AI, and we didn't have. We had two different. We had builder track, we had AI, and we had standing room only in both of those rooms. And one of the things we found was, AI skills are so critical to developers right now. And so this year we're running AI labs across all of the rooms the entire day versus just having one AI track and other tracks, which is going to really get the experience into the hands of the folks that really need it there.
It will. And also, it's interesting. We actually both internally just came off of our big marketing all hands meeting, and they were going over the feedback from people at Knowledge. And one of the biggest points of feedback that people really valued was AI. Well, this is not the part they value. AI is still a little bit inaccessible. There's not a lot of opportunities to get your hands on it. And so seeing that feedback implemented so quickly into CreatorCon India, I think also demonstrates how closely knit you are with the community. I think that's really important to delivering excellence on these events because they reflect the feedback. One of the biggest points of feedback that I personally even heard last year as someone that was just running the labs was how many people bust in from New Delhi to Hyderabad to Pune. And so I think seeing, how we've reflected feedback not only in the placement of these conferences, but also in the curriculum is extremely valued. So tell me, let's kind of, I kind of always take for granted that there are people that might not even have heard of CreatorCon yet. So before we get too deep in, let's just level set. If you could describe CreatorCon in one sentence, what is it?
It's a hard one. Thanks for the prep on that. But no, the CreatorCon for me is it's the community coming together to celebrate developers, practitioners, other individuals who engage on our platform, and jamming on innovation, labs and other experiences, and celebrating that. I added a semicolon in there so I could extend it out a little bit.
Hey, that counts. And I think that's true. It's not only an opportunity, it's a conference, of course, it's a software conference, but it's not just a place to learn. It's also a place to connect with individuals in your local community, people from ServiceNow that can uplift your effort, your successes, your feedback. And so I think that's what makes these local events so, so important, especially one for such a humongous proportion of our developer community, which is in India. You said 31%. That's ridiculously high amount of, developers. So talk about now the curriculum. So Mark said, one of the biggest feedback pieces we got was, hey, India is really oriented around pro coding. These are not necessarily newer, greener developers. These are people that have worked on our platform for a long time and they are ready for a challenge. So, how are we challenging them this time around?
So the labs that we're really going to be focusing on are twofold. One, really kind of the building agentic AI is such a powerful experience right now. Really thinking about how to bring that to life. So this lab is really going to be devoted on focusing on helping you grow the base level knowledge and also putting that into practical use of creating an agentic app live in the room, and then kind of taking that and helping you ideate on how do I take that and put that into practice in my instance and my experiences long term. The other side of that is there's so many. We've ServiceNow's been on this amazing journey to really we've built the AI right into our platform. It's not a bolt-on type of experience. And it's been really incredible to see this journey of of all of the amazing tools and experiences we have. So the other lab is really focused on really up-leveling the ability of like what are the latest and greatest capabilities and experiences within the AI space, Now Assist and other experiences, and how does that feed into your existing type of workflows and experiences. So we feel like those two things are really going to supercharge your learning experience and help you really start to think about and get excited about what you can do with AI.
And honestly, how could you not get excited? I mean, that line. So for a quick reference point, when we weren't doing as advocates, when we weren't doing keynote rehearsals or we weren't doing labs ourselves, we all kind of had a nexus that we were supposed to return to help out with on the CreatorCon floor. And mine happened to be the Build an AI Agent experience, which was a smaller lab that was meant to just it was supposed to be around 30 minutes of time that people could get in line for, learn it, and get their hands dirty in creating AI agents, and then leave. That segment was so popular, we ripped through the week's worth of instances the first morning of the first day. So I think that just showcases the amount of interest that people have in these topics. So,
yeah, it was pretty wild, Lauren. When I was when we were running the keynote together there, I was actually walking through the line, giving people drinks, stickers, and encouraging them. You're almost there, kind of.
You're almost there.
But that line wrapped all the way nearly to the center of the conference. It was so long, but that energy and the excitement around it is very palpable, and we're excited to bring that to India here.
Absolutely. And it's not just you bringing it to India. So let's talk about the cast of characters. Who all is coming from the ServiceNow side? Who can people badger with questions about AI, once they come?
That's a great question. So we're really excited. This go round, we have our two newest developer advocates, Alan and Travis, are going to be there, and many of the folks in region are very familiar with both of their work, especially with Alan and a lot of his video content. So they're very excited about meeting Alan. So be sure to ask him all of the questions. Christy's also joining, which is going to be incredible. She was there last year, and so it's exciting to see her coming back. And she's going to be hosting, quite a bit of the experiences there as well. So we're really happy to have her back. And lastly, myself and Jason, who builds a lot of the hackathon or HackZone type of exhibits, and we're bringing some of those really exciting ones that we had at Knowledge to India as well. So he'll be there and ready to kind of showcase that as well.
So tell us a little bit more. So we've covered the hands-on experiences, so the more, typical, I think, expectations people have of going to a conference, of, sitting down, hearing some form of lecture, doing some form of activity. But what is this mysterious hack zone of which you speak?
Yeah, so we have a little bit more space in Delhi and Bengaluru, so you're going to see a much larger. We're going to be bringing as many as we can fit in the room, which is going to be exciting. But one of I'll share one of the ones that I'm most excited about, which you probably saw some of these online, which was the C3, the collectible community cards. And what this is such a really cool experience, because what we did was we took, this really amazing, now mobile experience that you could actually you sign in, you get it from the App Store, you can actually log in. It goes through your SSO, you take a picture, and it gives you different variations, and it creates your superhuman version of yourself. And be sure, if you run into me, to ask to see mine, because it's wildly ridiculous. My hair is spectacular. I keep it short, but it is exceptional. And so it's nice to show to find your inner superhero experience. And that's just the first step. The awesome part about this is it's actually a really cool connective app where you can actually scan and connect with other people in the space, and that's the fun part about that, is like collecting your crew of other people. So use the scanning experience within the app, and you scan each other, and then you can kind of build out a larger group of people in your space. The important fact is you have to remember both of you have to actually scan it for it to actually connect. Otherwise, it'll be a partial and not show up. So make sure you do that, and be sure to reach out and scan all of ours as well. We're happy to show them to you.
And just to reaffirm too, everything that the HackZone, so these are not just necessarily like cool techie things. These are cool techie things that are all built exclusively on ServiceNow. So just to drill this home, even the C3 app, which is something that you go to the Apple Store or the Google Play, sorry, I'm an Apple girly, store, download yourself. That is a ServiceNow application. These are all things from the IoT Garden to the C3 app to the laser engravers to LiquorBot. I don't know if LiquorBot's coming, but all of these solutions, these are all built on ServiceNow. So they're really here to not only be a fun addition to the conference, but to really show you the boundary is mostly limitless when it comes to creating creative apps on ServiceNow.
Yeah, we like to frame that up as highlighting and showcasing the art of the possible, right?
Yeah.
Where we leverage the platform in a fun and creative way for you to think about what is possible. And the interesting thing is that it's really limitless with some of the creative ways you can actually like leverage and use our platform. So we get to do the more fun and quirky and weird things that you probably wouldn't do on a daily basis, but it helps you really see all of the flow and the connections and all of the other things that could be possible. And I think that you can take that and kind of get some inspiration to build your own apps.
Absolutely. I mean, I think looking back on my knowledge experiences, the first time I ever really pushed the boundary of ServiceNow was as a result of seeing the HackZone. I think it was like LiquorBot V1 at Knowledge 16 that I saw, but it really helped reaffirm to me that ServiceNow wasn't just an IT solution, which is what we were exclusively using it for at my company. And so I think those types of things are helpful. Like obviously customer examples are really, really helpful within your industry, I think, but it's those like wacky ideas that come out of CreatorCon that show you, oh, wait, why am I even putting this limit upon myself? Why not try to do this on ServiceNow,
100%. Yeah, it's really exciting. And the team loves to build those and play around with them because it really kind of helps us flex our creative side as well.
And fun fact, the vast majority of C3's creation team are the advocates, coincidentally also going to, of course, Earl did a tremendous amount of work as well. He unfortunately is going to Sydney with me, but both Travis and Christy, and I believe Alan as well, did a good amount of work on C3, correct?
Yeah, and as well as our mobile app dev team and some other folks.
Oh, yeah.
With like, the end-to-end state. It took a village, but
shout out to David Murch, who is an upcoming guest as well on Breakpoint.
Yeah, and it is so smooth. I can't wait for you all to play around with it and connect because it's definitely a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It was the highlight of my knowledge experience. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in India. It's going to be so fun. So now we've talked about the curriculum. We've talked about the kind of expo hall area. Do we have a keynote as well planned for old CreatorCon India?
Yeah, we sure do. So based on space, we're prioritizing, we're prioritizing people getting in. So in Pune, it'll be a little bit shorter in the beginning of the day. And then in Bangalore and Delhi, we will have a keynote planned. And we're really excited about, bringing a little bit of what we shared at Knowledge, and then showing we have some friends coming to share some more cool stuff as well. So we're excited about that.
I love the tease of just friends. Interesting. You'll have to go to see who those friends are, I guess, perhaps.
Exactly. No comment.
No comment at all. Well, so I, of course, was part of the group that got to go last year. So I am curious to think, or just to discuss with you about, what were some of the surprises from last year that you weren't anticipating, and things that you're keeping around and trying to, stick with us for 2025?
It's a great question. I'd say 100% it has to be the people. The energy in that room is wild.
Yes.
Last year, I think I did something like 70 selfies in the first hour. And I was not mentally prepared for that because usually like most of the selfies go to Lauren and the dev advocates. When we're at these conferences, I'm usually the guy on the side. So it was a little bit of a fun experience, but after the 70th or so, that led me to looking like this in all the pictures. I was like, it was kind of hilarious because one of the MVPs told me that I had out of box resting face, and Lauren actually had to Photoshop a smile onto the picture of the group
Just
because
one.
I had to do that. So this year I've actually been in training. So I've been working with my teenage son who takes like 30 selfies a day. So I'm excited to swap out my out of box face with a new custom look this year for CreatorCon India. So I may actually get a few smiles in there. If you do, those are definitely the ones you want to save. But
Dang.
I'll be ready. But jokes aside, I just can't wait to connect, smile, and learn from this amazing community. Honestly, this is the most exciting event that we have every year because of the awesome energy that people bring to that. It's a smaller group. Knowledge is everybody. This is your people. This is developers. This is purely CreatorCon experience. So you really get to hang out with those folks and have a really, really good time. So I'm looking forward to the people the most.
And honestly, walking away from it too, that was my biggest praise of CreatorCon India, because I didn't really know what to expect. I'd never been to India before, and I'd never worked a conference other than Australia. So I was just curious to see what the experience would be like. And I gotta be honest, it kind of put my regular knowledge labs to shame. Everyone was so insightful. Everyone was locked in paying attention. Everyone was kicking butt on the lab. And to be honest too, I was running the builder track labs. I think a lot of them would have preferred to be in the AI labs, but it might have run out of space. So I was thrilled to see people still being so positive and also giving me great feedback as well, both of what they liked, things about, aspects of even low code development that I was learning from them on. So all around, the experience with the people could not have been better at all. And I will echo to you. I did Photoshop just one smile, just one. But in your defense, it was after, I think, a 15-hour day. And it was the dinner after. And I was like, he's not going to notice if I just do it.
I don't mind. I left everything on the table, on the floor with everybody and having a good time. So by the end of that, I'm happy to be Photoshopped. But this year, I'm hoping I'll be smiling the whole time because I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, to Photoshop your crazy locks that you have on your C3 card. That's the next step, is getting that a wig.
It'll be a little challenging because it kind of defies gravity. So we'll see how we can get that. It would take a lot of hairspray to make that happen for sure. Yeah,
it might burn a hole in the ozone layer, but we'll do our best. So thinking back again about 2024, is there anything that we're not doing? Any, a little, growing pains that we're trying to remove this time around to make it a better experience for everybody?
Yeah, I think, outside of switching the labs and then moving to other cities, those were the two biggest areas of feedback. I think the one thing that that we're not going to do is try to rush the team. Last year, we went from day to the next day to the next day. And so we're thankfully this time we have a little bit of time to actually get to know the cities we're in and experience and hang out and spend more time, getting ready for the next day. So we're excited about spending a little bit more time and getting to know India a little bit more, being able to meet a lot of our experts and hang out, spend some time with them. So we're really pumped and excited about that.
And of course, to get Jason his beloved dosas. Of course.
Yes, Jason is really excited about the dosas. I used to be a chef when I was a kid, so I'm really big into the food. I love going there, and little known fact, I have the proper box, and I make my own spice blends. And so every time I go, I like to refill my box, and so I bring all the fresh spices, and so it's kind of exciting to go back and to experience that for sure.
Well, are the other planned field trips for the team that they're excited about outside? Because I know a lot of people, again, on our team, I think Travis has been to India before. I don't believe Alan has, though. So another first timer going. Any fun little excitement field trips for the team this time around?
I think they may see something in the north a little bit that they're excited about. So we'll see how that turns out. So
perhaps
might be a little day trip up to Agra to see the Taj. So that'll be a fun experience. But I've been before and it was pretty exceptional. So I'm really excited for hopefully the team can make that happen as well.
Well, I can't imagine how exceptional it is. It looks amazing in photographs, so I can't imagine it in person. When we went last year, we stayed mostly on the western coast into the southern tip of India. And like Mark said, we also had to reprove to our leadership the value of CreatorCon India because we hadn't done it for so long. And so part of the brevity of the trip was to keep things, as provable as possible of like how valuable this is for our customers. And I remember you telling us like, you have to do it this lean once, and then everyone will know how awesome this is, and we'll never do it this lean again. And so I'm thrilled that we get to, see more cultural aspects of India too. So that's very cool. But a couple of my friends back home were like, oh, like, did you go with the Taj Mahal? And I was like, that's like going to Orlando and asking someone if they went to Times Square. So no, last year we did it. But well, this time around, it'll be pretty cool. Well, you already mentioned too about how much you're looking forward to reconnecting with the people and meeting new community members as well. But is there anything that you personally, after 2025 CreatorCon season is completely done, you are looking forward to the most, Mark?
I think planning for next year. I think, as you said before, I think one of the things that we always get great feedback on the road when we're doing these events, and our experts let us know very clearly what they care about and what they want to see. And so don't miss the opportunity to share feedback when we're out there, because we really take that to heart. So for me, we bring the team together towards the end of the year and we really talk about what's coming up next. And as you mentioned earlier, one of the bigger challenges is how do you top the really cool experiences we do every time? And so we really have to spend time and energy to really kind of focus on that and start to bring some of that to life. So that's part of the process that I like the most, is like, what's next? And so that's my favorite part that I'm looking forward to.
Do you have any certain aspirations already for 2026 that you're willing to share, or want to keep it all kind of a surprise?
I haven't had a chance to think about it yet, honestly, Lauren.
That's fair. We're not even done with this.
It's still June, so maybe ask me again. I'll come back on Breakpoint in October, December timeframe, and we could talk about it again. But still a little too early, I think. For sure.
That's fair. I got to start collecting all of my leadership people like Infinity Stones, and then I'll be the all-powerful podcast in the ServiceNow realm. That's how it works.
100%, yeah.
Awesome. Any final thoughts on CreatorCon India? So if people are here's a great thing to transition into. If people are planning on attending, what should they bring? What should they be prepared for? What time, how early should they be getting there? Any call to action notes like that?
I'd say bring that big energy this year. Make sure you charge up your phones for all those wonderful selfies in C3. Yes. And then look out. They're going to send out a note with all the details of when, where, what, and what you need to do. So make sure you bring your laptop, obviously, for the labs and your charging station. But I think that's the biggest stuff there. And just get ready. We're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah. So this episode will be coming out on July 3rd. So the team will already be in India. You will already be in India by the time this episode goes live. So Mark, I could not be more excited for the results of CreatorCon India. I know that everyone, Travis, Christy, Alan, Jason, Heather, everyone is so stoked about this event. And so I could not give you enough praise as well for organizing it, not only so well, but so quickly, so that it's really still feeding off all that awesome momentum from Knowledge 25. So amazing work.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing everybody, and thank you for the conversation today, Lauren.
Heck yeah. So thank you, wonderful listener, as well, for joining us here today. Do not forget to check out our other ServiceNow podcasts. Oddly enough, they are found on the servicenow.com/community website, but under the events menu. Still, always a mystery of why they are under the events menu. You can subscribe to this podcast for free and get it automatically delivered to you, either on YouTube or any place the audio podcast can be found. Breakpoint is brought to you by ServiceNow with executive producer me at the helm. To find out more about the ServiceNow Developer Program and get your PDI with a Yokohama instance, go to developer.servicenow.com. Thank you so much. Stay hungry, stay humble, and I will see y'all next time, possibly in Sydney. Cheers.
Please let us know what you think about this podcast. You can leave feedback or ask questions in the ServiceNow community. For more great information on ServiceNow development, check out the ServiceNow Developer Portal at developer.servicenow.com. Thanks for listening.